Minuteman.
On today's Minuteman loadout, rubber band gun. Is that an assault rubber band? Give me this. So it holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more than 10. This is definitely an assault rubber band weapon. Is this
of choice?
Is this a military grade assault rubber band weapon?
Possibly.
I don't know. This is what they were trading in Benghazi. The rest of y'all think you know the real story, but this is what was going down.
One night we should have some blowgun fun. Get my blowgun out here, we'll just shoot up crap in my backyard.
Shoot up is maybe not the best term. We're not going to shoot up and use blowguns, but I say I'm at least 95% sure that's not going to happen. So
you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying, I wouldn't. Probably not. Oh, welcome back, Squid. Welcome back to Squid and Bear, the official YouTube survival shenanigans.
Monday fun day.
Monday fun day.
After we've dealt with life the last few weeks.
Yeah.
We got back to dinner and Monday fun day.
There's been a lot of lifing. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just feeds me. He's like, come over to my house and eat. I'm like, have you seen this? It's a lot of food. And he's like, I don't care. So, just like that, I don't care.
It's allowed us to create something new.
Yes, that's true.
Like,
so,
elevate your channel to like the next level.
Literally the next
right.
level in survival shenanigans. So, we're working on a web store. Tell them.
Okay.
Tell them.
Well, it's not up yet. It's gonna be a little bit. But we know our first T-shirt we're gonna make is going to be the shithead.
The
t-shirt.
shithead, yes, the shithead T-shirt. It's an acronym. Someone heading into the hardest ever avoidable day.
And it's for specifically people who think they're gonna bug out with their family, and then it's gonna be awesome, and
yeah,
they're gonna be able to do all that stuff. And at some point, we've already decided we're doing a challenge. We're gonna probably one time when I get a chance to get up to his place, we'll maybe do like 8 or 10 miles with all our gear.
Yep.
And then we're going to start a fire with a bow and drill. And try to put a shelter together after getting our ass whipped for 8 or 10 miles one day.
Yeah, we're just going to go ruck march for like a dozen miles. And we are going to move with a sense of purpose.
Yes.
Not like a leisurely walk. Like,
Yep.
we're going to book it, say 12 miles in 4 hours max.
Something like that.
Max. And then, with, my back and my knees and your back and your knees. And
try not to just fall straight asleep on the ground.
All I need now is a ground sheet.
I'm
done.
A rock to lay my head on.
I made camp, ground sheet and rock. I'm done. Right? And it's kind of yes, I love it. The bird walking has begun.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I love about the whole. I'm bringing a pack axe so I can build a shelter in the wilderness. Number one, when was the last time you walked through the wilderness? Number two, you're gonna be there for like 10 hours. 12 hours, you're going to build Shangri-La out of pine boughs with your camp axe in the wilderness after you've just had the hardest day you've ever had. No, you're not. So, the shithead T-shirt is the first one coming.
But, so we have a web address now that we've secured. And he actually slipped in the last video.
Did I?
The garden one, yeah, in the end.
Oh.
But they probably didn't know that.
They probably didn't.
So, our online store is going to be kungfutaxidermy.com.
kungfutaxidermy.com.
And Mrs. Squid said, that has nothing to do with T-shirts or to your channel. And I said, exactly.
That's exactly right.
It makes it perfect.
It's a great URL, kungfutaxidermy.com.
Because we had 2 other older cats that died in the last 3 years. And I'm like, come on, let me just get them to the taxidermist in kung fu poses, and then we can put them in the house and forever memorialize them. So that's where the idea initially came from. But Mrs. Squid's smart.
Yeah. She's
It didn't bite
smart,
off on that.
She's made at least one bad decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're cool and all, but yeah. Yeah, so kungfutaxidermy.com, we own it, and there are Squid and Bear and Squid and Bear shirts coming.
Mm-hmm.
We're working with a Oh, I hit the button. We're back.
Okay.
We're working with a graphic designer to my head looks 4 times the size of yours. It's like
It is 4 times.
It's how could you? I hate you. We're working with a graphic designer to make t-shirts. The end. We have half a dozen ideas. If there's something that we've said that has stuck out to you, put it in the comments below, down here. And if there's actual wisdom, what are you doing?
Down here.
Put your arm. Oh yeah, down there, down here. If there's actual wisdom in it, maybe we'll make it into a T-shirt. So that could be cool.
Yeah,
So
if it's a good one, I say we give them one for free.
oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So yeah, if you come up with a good T-shirt, we'll send you one. Which, by the way, Gordy, I'm not shipping you your T-shirt because Miss Harmony and I are going to be at the Prepper Expo in Arkansas, which I always thought was funny. I feel like there was a group of people in Kansas, and then they had to make an exodus from Kansas, and they got to Arkansas, and they were like, "This is our Kansas now," and that's how Arkansas got its name. I love you, Arkansans. I'm just saying, it's a weird state name. But we will be there.
What came first, Arkansas or Kansas?
I don't know. Which came first, Kansas or Arkansas?
Who out there knows? Uh-oh.
But
we're being invaded.
we will be there on the 23rd of June. And I will bring your shirt. Good throw. Good throw. So rather than ship it, I'm just going to bring it to you. So.
And ball supporters.
And also ball supporters. Supporter.
Supporter.
Like, is it plural? 'Cause you have plural balls, but you only need one ball supporter. That sun is great.
Incoming.
What else, man? What about the El Agua Roberto?
El Agua Fuego.
Fuego? This thing?
We could talk about that. So somebody had asked about, and I don't remember who exactly, but they're concerned about like water and if they're on city water, like how you're not spraying us or I'm going to throat punch you.
Parenting win.
No. And like if they're on city water, like what do you do? You know, I mean, I'm on a county water here at the house, and I have plans to put a couple of 550s down and get a flush piping. That was nice.
That was a pretty good throw. Yeah.
And now you just gave me ammo. And put a flush in it and be able to start taking water off the roof here. But one of the other things, like the first thing my wife knows to do if she even senses trouble, is this. I have 3 full-size bathtubs.
El Agua Roberto.
Roberto. And so all the bathtubs have this right next to it. And first sign of trouble, it is fill these to the brim. You know, I also have some 55-gallon jugs in the garage. I also have some cases of bottled water, and I also have a handful of 5-gallon jugs that are full as well. And I maintain them by just having a little bit of bleach in them. So, and I'll dump them probably once a year, at least the big 55-gallon, and refill it and put a little bleach in it. Now, any of that I would take if we had to use, I would go ahead and re-purify it, whether it's tablets, whether it's iodine, whether it's whatever, whether it's boiling. And so, you know, that's the main thing, because I mean, especially here in Texas in the summer, you know, water is going to be one of your greatest enemies. So, looking at like how do you purify what you have? And I know you've talked about all kinds of commercial off-the-shelf
Yep.
COTS type purifiers that are out there, but one of the things that I have in my kind of toolbox, I do all my food storage in 5-gallon jugs with nice sealable lids. And one of the reasons why I have them all in 5-gallon jugs with Mylar on the inside is because I have a system to go ahead and set up purifiers with the 5-gallon jugs. You want me to hold that while you get your beer open?
No, I got it. Okay, if you want to go for it. I don't drink beer.
So.
Oh, why? Was it getting...
So,
was it shaky?
No.
Okay.
I was just being nice for a change.
You don't know how to be nice. What are you, a 9-foot alligator?
So, so out of these 5-gallon pails, I can take 2 of them, and I can build a purification system. And the advantage to what I can build is that I don't have to attend to it. A lot of the purifiers that you buy over the counter, you have to pump the water through, you have to straw the water through, you have to actually do an action.
You got to participate in it,
right,
and dedicate time to it.
And so my thoughts is I want to set one up, pour water in it, and then go do something else that I need to do. And I kind of drew it out today. And now that I look back at the drawing, this is not the...
You're not that proud of it?
I'm not that proud of this drawing.
That's a great drawing, though.
So
I like that.
So
is that what you were drawing on the build table?
Yeah,
I love it.
So looking at the drawing, the 2 containers, 2 5-gallon jugs. The lid on the bottom has holes poked in it, obviously. The lid on the top has a screen that's glued onto it, and then there's layers of sand, rock, charcoal that go down to the bottom with a piece of linen cloth on the bottom. And so the idea would be that I'm able to put this together. Like the boys have a sandbox, not so much because they like to be in the sand, but I have sand on hand. So
devious.
I have 15 plus pounds of activated charcoal. That's part of my storage. That would go into one of these. I haven't figured out exactly how much I could get out of it, but with 2 pounds of activated charcoal in one of these, I got to imagine that it'll last at least 1,000 gallons.
Yeah, I would think so.
And if I'm getting dirty water, the screen on the top is filtering out a lot of the junk that could deteriorate on the top and rot of the rocks. That's the top layer. So rock, sand, charcoal, linen, screen at the top. And, that I pour water in it and walk away. And so, pretty easy to do. We actually talked about putting some of these together as kits and selling them to where everything you need is in it to put together. Everything would be in it.
Yeah, grab and go, man.
And then these in storage, these 2 5-gallon jugs actually just fit inside each other.
Yeah, they nest inside of each other
until you need it.
And you could take that top bucket and put like a 4-pound bag of rice, a 4-pound bag of beans, maybe some canned tuna, canned chicken or something, and make a refugee kit if you needed to, or an emergency kit where roll of toilet paper, some hand soap, sanitary stuff, and one of the big questions. Good for him. He's peeing on a tree. So one of the big questions people have is, well, what about refugees? What do I do when people just show up at my front door? That's a tricky question. If you're defending your position from your front door, you've already lost. But maybe it's not a defensive situation. Maybe you are actually trying to render aid. And then what do you do? So if you want to keep people on board as they're coming to you, that's one thing. If you want to be able to assist somebody, render aid, and then kind of let them move along about their business, or they are intent on moving on their way, they're not going to stay where you are. You can hand them this bucket and bless you, brother.
Well, it's like the almost 5 years that 4.5, 5 years that I traveled for the consulting firm I was in. Every week I traveled Monday to Thursday, when the housekeepers came in and cleaned the room and did their thing. But every single day I took cups, toilet paper, soap, coffee stuff, and just the random stuff you see in the hotel room that's there for your.
Yep.
You know, I would pack that in my bag and bring it all back here. And I have like tons of toilet paper. My idea around that, and like I joke about it to people who don't understand it, but it's like this is my refugee kit. Like this is my. I put a roll of toilet paper in this. I put coffee. I put cups. I put all this stuff in there to help people who need it. And the whole idea behind it is, like I know how to deal with MS-13 or a gang member or, any type of bad guy out there who just wants to do bad things. I know how to deal with that.
Yep.
What I don't know how to deal with and what I do not want to deal with. Don't do that, buddy. Those are peaches. Is the father or mother staring at their child and they're starving to death? Because that's a person who would do anything. A gang member, MS-13, I mean, you name it, they're going to do what they do because that's what they do.
Yep.
And there's one way to deal with it.
Yeah, that's one of the things we've talked about is that there's a lot less moral and ethical considerations when you're dealing with somebody who has made up their mind that they're going to lead a life of crime, right? And we can get into they were born into a broken system and whatever, man. You take up arms against me, you're my enemy, right? Now, if you're put into
and I will use whatever force necessary.
Exactly, right? If you pose a deadly threat to me, you've already made that decision for yourself.
Hey, Beckett, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Don't use the binoculars on our neighbors.
Recon, Pa. Recon.
I know.
Recon. So if you're a gang member, for better or for worse, you've already made that decision, right? And you more or less understand the odds that you're taking, right? You understand the situation you got yourself into. If you're an orthodontist and the world has gone to hell in a handbasket and your kids are starving, the moral and ethical ramifications of that situation are much more severe to me and to Squid than if you're, from Honduras and covered in facial tattoos and 13-year-old girls are your favorite thing on the planet. See what I mean?
Yep.
I don't have to think twice. That's what this is for.
It's an easy decision.
That's why we have these assault weapons to go out there and handle business with these fine American-made repeater rifles. Yeah, but so that's your idea. When you say refugee
We
kid,
got that up near you, by the way, when we went to Beaver's Bend last year.
did you? Don't bend my beaver, bro. Don't do that.
It hurts.
It does. It does hurt. It's not meant to bend that way. What were we talking about? Why did you have to go there, man?
Bending your beaver?
Don't bend my beaver, man. It's painful.
Not something you want to have to deal with.
Yeah. So when Squid talks about refugees,
Because there's motivation with the father or mother.
Oh,
The gang member is just because that's who they are.
Right.
Okay.
Whoa.
Do we need to send Miles home?
I was just trying to aim at the tree.
No, sir.
Maybe don't do that again, Beck.
Well, I'm going to send you inside. But that father or mother, the motivation that they would have. I mean, think about it. If you got kids,
Yep.
think about staring at your kids starving to death. Like, and somebody's got stuff and they're not going to help you.
Yep.
I mean, you're creating enemies. And yeah, are you possibly allowing yourself, allowing yourself to be taken advantage of? Yes. But as long as you manage the situation, you'll be seen as someone who helped save their life versus somebody who just pushed them aside. And who knows? I mean, I don't think this is probably possible, but You know, what if somebody walks up and their kids are starving and they're a former Navy SEAL
Right.
or Green Beret? It's, you know, for me it'd be like, bro, come with me. I will feed you. I will clothe you. I will do whatever I can to take care of you because I can use you.
And you have the leverage with the material support that you have
Right.
to be able to say,
You know, Squid's been putting up food far longer than I've known you.
8 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
8 years?
Again, getting back to we don't have a real good reason why either one of us should know each other, other than God was like, I wonder what would happen if I take two total idiots and smash them together forcefully.
From two worlds that are 180 degrees apart.
This is what you get. You're welcome.
This should be fun.
You're welcome. Right?
It's kind of like at one point I think God's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to take a chance and let one of them win the lottery. Just let's see what happens. We talked about it before. We're like,
Yep.
I know the Father has the biggest sense of humor.
yeah,
Like he has to have the biggest sense of humor.
he's got to.
Because I mean, just look at your daily lives. Or I mean, I just look at my daily life. I mean, the things that I find funny. Half the stuff I say, 90% of the stuff I say in my brain that doesn't go verbal, and I just laugh to myself about on a daily basis.
Yep.
He's got to have the biggest sense of humor.
Yeah.
I just believe it.
Well, and there's always that you were fearfully and wonderfully created in His image as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that sense of humor, thanks, Dad.
Well, and we're talking about another channel of this family who's doing something. Not to mention any names,
Right.
But he had mentioned to me, and we're sitting at work, and he's working on some benches, and I pull my phone out and I look it up, and I literally watch it's a new channel, and I watched the first episode, and I'm like, dude, they're gonna die.
Yeah.
These people are gonna die. I mean, he's blow drying his hair.
Yeah.
You're gonna die, man. Seriously. And it's okay. You don't have to be a warrior. But know you're not a warrior.
Yeah.
And surround yourself with warriors, because if you think you're gonna find property and build something, or build a bunker, or build whatever it is, and somebody who stumbles upon it who's not so nice, they'll find a way to get you out of, say, a bunker or whatever location,
Or
you have.
your hole in the side of the mountain, or
Yeah.
your homestead, or whatever. And that's
Yeah, buddy.
part of that is
No, leave that here, Miles.
good job, Miles. But so Squid and I talk quite a bit. We have the rare blessing to be able to spend a lot of time together and be like-minded and of one accord in a lot of ways. But one of the things that we were talking about earlier was, and it's something that I've alluded to here at this channel, is the warrior class supported by an agrarian class dichotomy that's gonna happen. It's the entry stage of all civilizations. You have to have a warrior class that protects the agrarian class. So it's a necessity, right? It's a symbiotic relationship. See that big word that I know? STEM degree.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have a STEM degree?
STEM degree, right? You're rubbing off on me.
It sounds like
It's a symbiotic relationship, right? You need the agrarian class to produce the food, to feed the people, to grow from a small clan to a tribe, to a town, to a city, right? So to form these concentric rings of groups of people, you need the calories. It's a calories game. But to protect the calories in those concentric rings of people, you have to have the warrior class. And you can't have one without the other. If you have a warrior class without the agrarian to support it, you end up with a bunch of dead warriors because they can't eat. And if you have an agrarian class without warriors, you end up with a bunch of dead farmers because they can't protect what they own. They can't keep what they've produced. So it's that relationship, and it's really hard for me to quantify, other than to say pick a column, warrior class or farmer class.
Or a cat staring at you.
Or
rudely
that
through
cat,
the window.
that cat just gave me so much attitude through the
I
window.
know.
He looked at me like, bro,
He's back.
get off of my chair. Look at him. Look at him. So come out. I'm out. Feline vanish.
He's an asshole. Sorry. He is. So we have I would call an urban cat.
An urban cat.
Yeah, he was gotten from a shelter.
He's got Nikes.
Very, very urbanite.
Okay.
Like polite. And then this cat grew up in a barn in a box
Right.
that we got for outside because, yes, we do have rats, even though it's the country. There are Norwegian rats that are in the fields.
Perfect.
And we had a mild summer last year, which caused their population to blow up. So we had, rats body length wise like this
Right.
all over here. And so we got barn cat, and barn cat he's a dick. He just is. Like,
Yep.
I mean, Mrs. Squid said it earlier. Like last night, he just crawled up and slept on my head. Or we'll be getting up. Oh, he got out. Or we'll be, see, told you,
Yeah.
dick. Or like this morning after my alarm goes off and getting ready to get ready for work, and I'm sitting with Mrs. Squid, and the cat jumps up on the whatever thing is on a bed behind the bed. Whatever. Headboard. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jumps up the headboard and just sits there and stares at us, like contemptfully.
What a creep.
Oh, what's this?
That's a cell phone.
Oh, you want font choice?
Lots of choice. Sorry.
Oh, I would go with Bleeding Cowboy. That is my favorite font.
I don't know that font.
Actually, I got the Calibri.
The Calibri? No, Ariel.
In Iraq, I got the Calibri. Calibri.
Ariel, size 11. If you need to go, double spacing, Ariel, 11.
I say one.
Verdana.
Verdana's a good one, too.
That's a good one. Actually,
No Times New Roman.
that is my choice for 4-star generals was Verdana.
Verdana.
How professional.
1 and
I said 1 and 4.
I like,
I'm not allowed
what's
to-
that,
Gina said I'm not allowed to use it.
Sans Gothic Roman something. Anyway, pick a
1
column.
and 5.
Are you the warrior class or the agrarian class or a little bit of both? What about you, Miss Squid?
The what?
The what?
What'd you ask me?
Are you a warrior class or an agrarian
She's
class?
agrarian. She's a
Yeah.
chef. She's a support. She's a
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. But you would totally, that's a word, totally. You would totally cut somebody with a chef knife if you needed to. If they were like messing with your kids, you'd come upside their head. I know you would. It's true. Okay.
Sad thing is, I know how to debone a person.
How to debone a person? That, you know what? I don't know
And
if
then
we
we'll
can.
crush their bones into calcium for the garden.
I don't know if we can say that on the
Internet. She'll
I
do.
know how to debone something, so I.
That's true. Just, you know what? Just take the knife through the flesh to the bone and then work around the bone. It's kind of, people and ruminants, we have a lot in common.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Don't put.
That's weird. Go to bed.
He went there.
He went. He's been going a few places in this video. Okay.
Go put your feet up, huh?
I'm going to bed after our children do.
T-minus 16 days.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, the countdown says under 15 because.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
they're under 16. Yeah. So,
Yeah. T-minus 16 days. We salute you.
Remember, round up. If it's 15.5 or more, it's round up to 16.
round up like.
No, don't spray the ground with Roundup.
I thought you meant like round up.
A bad Italian gesture was just made, which we shan't repeat upon the YouTubes.
Because I'm Italian.
Yes, and it was a bad gesture.
So it's an Italian bad gesture.
It was, and by the way, it was censored.
Yeah, but we don't film you without your permission.
She does this to me.
Yeah.
You have to read between the lines.
Ah.
Because you have to read between the lines. Lovely. Lovely. I like that.
Bye.
Good evening, madam.
See? Dick. Right there. Look. And he'll go, she's going to
Yeah.
sprint. Watch him.
Run.
I don't want to chase it.
Chase the cat. That'll be fun.
No, because you'll video it.
No, we
I
won't.
would never do such a thing.
No, we won't.
I might.
Yes, you might.
I feel like, you know what? We're going to press pause.
Not a cat.
Don't. People are going to think you're like mean to
This
animals.
is our butthole cat. I still love him, though.
You're so mean to that cat.
Actually, he's nicer than.
No filming the female squid.
No filming females.
All right, so we're going to put a bow on this because, you know, it's late and we're old and vertebrae.
And I'll probably drink way too much. Get up and go to work anyway.
No, I wouldn't.
Because
You do
that's
it?
just what you do.
You do that too? Okay.
No.
Never.
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 I've never woken up at 12:30 in the chair after I fell asleep in it and went, fuck, I got to get up at 5:30. Oops. Sorry.
You're doing great today.
Yeah.
Danny does it all the time. Danny falls asleep in his chair all the time. All the time.
I hate it though because it's like if you would just go, man, your eyes are closing, it's 9:15, just go to your bed.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't wake up and my neck be stuck in one place, my back in another.
Right. Yeah, I
And
wake
it's
up.
habitual.
I wake up feeling like a hieroglyph.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one of those like carvings of an Egyptian person, like this. You know, and you're like, people aren't shaped that way, but that's how your body. Why do people sleep like that?
I don't know.
Why do you do that?
I just wish I would sleep half the time.
Yeah, you could benefit from some sleep. So, we survived the apocalypse.
We survived the earlier apocalypse.
Now it's beautiful.
We got some rain, which
It's
is
like-
good. Happy for it. Actually, I didn't water the garden last night in anticipation of getting some good rain today.
I feel like
You should show them. Like,
I feel like you just didn't water the garden.
you should just show them the
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
beautifulness.
We just did a walk through your garden like 3 days ago.
But that's okay. Somebody else might want to watch this. But you can do this too.
Nobody watches these.
I know. But you can do this too.
Yes.
Like, this can be done. You can do all of this. But, like, decide what side. Like, if it came down to it and I had to choose a side, I mean, I have to choose being on the warrior side. But I know how to do all of this. And so I need to be somebody of knowledge, passing it down to others
Yep.
who are going to do this. So this is successful. Because if that's not successful, I'm not successful.
There is no warrior class.
No, I think I may have said the story before. Like my next door neighbor, who we're real good friends with and real close, he started getting into like long gun shooting competitions, and so he bought a 6.5 Creedmoor and a 300 Win Mag, and so he's doing some like longer range stuff. And we went shooting one
Nothing
time.
quite like this.
Yeah, that's got a bit
But
further
this
range
is-
than the 6.5.
This is a 416.
You know, but we went out, you know, he took me out to this long gun range that it goes out to about 1,200, and I was shooting my AR out to 400 and 500, and he was kind of sighting in his stuff, and he's like, hey, you know, you want to shoot it like his 6.5, and you know, so I get up, first shot, I'm sitting there, I'm starting out at 800, and I've got it, you know, lined up, and I bring my finger down to the trigger and pow! Like, he's like, oh yeah, I put a 1.5 pound trigger pull on it. I'm like, thanks, dude. Like, at least you could have told me that so I knew, like, I barely touched this thing, it's going. And so after that, you know, I'm shooting, and it's like 800, ping, ping. I'm like, all right, let's go to 9, dial in 9, ping, ping, get to 1,000, and walk it all the way up to 1,200. And we're shooting, or I'm shooting chest size steel plates, and you would hear it ping, or you would see it wave
Yep.
in the wind, and then, or wave from getting hit.
From the impact.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then hear ping,
Yeah.
come back. Like,
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
a half
but-
a mile away at that point.
But he's like, man, I need to do a better job shoving some food away. And I'm like, I got you covered. You're done.
Yeah.
You're good. Don't worry about it. He's like, oh, but I really need to. And I'm like, I'm not saying don't do it. Do it. but you're covered because now I got Overwatch.
Right.
And I didn't have to spend, and he doesn't skimp on things. I don't have to spend, upwards of $10,000 for the optics and the weapons that you got.
Yeah.
And now I have that capability that somebody else purchased.
Yep.
But we have a partnership. Like, I'm going to feed your family.
I think there's something else too here though, because there's that ancient Chinese proverb, I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Yeah.
Right? So if it's the challenge, or what can be daunting with preparedness, is it's everything. It's everything. Food, water, shelter, security, communications, animal husbandry, the whole, it's everything, right? Which is why community is such a big thing, because it's everything. You can have somebody or somebodies that do, each one of those little skill sets, that's their thing.
And not to go like political, but like I hear a lot of Democrats talking about, it takes a community to raise your children. Okay. Well, me personally, not your community.
Yeah.
That's not the community I want raising my kids. I agree that it takes a community to raise a child, but it's the right community.
Yeah, it's the standards of that community.
Yeah.
But if you as a person, right? It's what's that cheesy movie? Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come, right? I have a lot of garden put down right now, right? You have garden put down right now. You have food, you have seed, you have the whole nine. So if you get it established and then something happens, for me, where I'm at is, if something happens and I have to go put on my chest rig or my plate carrier and grab a rifle, and we have to go do that warrior stuff, okay, the garden's planted, right? Or somebody else, wife and kids or neighbor or somebody else, can tend the garden while the warrior stuff happens, right? But it is pick a column. Are you warrior class or agrarian class? And
in a contested environment, you can't be all the classes.
Yeah.
And I know you've said this before. I've said this for years. And I say this very humbly. There really isn't much I can't do.
Yep.
Just because of the life experience that God gave me. The jobs that I moved to in the military, the jobs that I've moved to post-military, what I did growing up, working on a farm and other places, the classes I took in high school,
Yep.
like all these things, like there's not much I can't do, but I can't do all of it
At the
same time and stay awake 24 hours, 7 days a week. In a lot of ways, I feel sorry for, the guys out there who think they're going to pick their family up and they're going to trek through this, because it's 99% going to fail.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do it alone. And we talked today about two scenarios, right?
Yep.
Really, two scenarios being, SHTF happening, or it being the apocalypse and rapture.
Right.
And so, and they're two different events.
Right.
The first event, everybody's in a world of hurt. The second one, there are people who are going to be taken away from this, and then there's going to be a remnant to carry on Christ's name and testimony. And this is just going to be an ugly place. And so,
I just did a video on that.
Did you really?
I literally just did a video on that. This is not going to be like
And I'll tell you,
my words were, it's not hippie Jesus coming back.
Oh, no.
No.
It's Jesus in the temple flipping tables. That's
exactly what I said.
And I will be honest with you. I don't watch his videos because I have to listen to him way too much already. So I don't watch them. So it's not like this is pre-planned or anything.
No.
But he's going to come back and kick some butt.
Yep.
And there's going to be a remnant left here to carry his name and to put on the armor of God and to be sacrificed,
Yeah.
in his name, and then there's going to be those who traverse and go to paradise, and so two different scenarios.
Right.
The first one being everybody is going to be fending for themselves, and the second one being there are people who are going to go to paradise, and then there are going to be leftover believers
Yep.
who have meant to carry on his name and be persecuted,
Yep.
and and be true to his name and die because of being true to his name.
Yep.
But the first scenario, you're a part-time prepper. You got 3 MREs in your closet, 17 cans of food, and you're like, yeah, I'm a prepper.
Like your neighbor.
Yeah.
I'm a
He's
prepper.
like, I'm a prepper, and he showed me. He opened up his. He's like pulled down like a box of like 3 MREs and like 17 cans, and I'm just sitting there going, I got a walk-in closet that I can't even take a step into
Yeah.
to the ceiling, and I'm not talking like 8-foot ceilings. I got
but
10-foot ceilings.
But the thing too here is, it's not like this guy's on a budget and all he's been able to put together so far
Exactly.
is 3 MREs and 17 cans of food. No, this guy could buy enough food for half this neighborhood if he wanted to, like that.
Yep.
Fair enough, right? Like,
No, fair enough. And by the way, 50-pound bag of rice at Costco.
yeah.
What is it? $15?
I think so. Yeah, $15.
I mean, like seriously, I'm on a budget now,
yeah.
changing my job,
Yep.
but I'm still continuing to put stuff away.
Yep.
And that's why don't ever think you can't do something. A buddy of mine who's a SEAL who's still active duty, we're sitting there, and he's one of my best friends of life, for life, and we were sitting there talking, and I was joking with him, and he goes, he's like, you know why we're so good at what we do? He's like, because we're lazy. And I was like, yeah? And he's like, yeah, we try to find the easiest way to do something every time.
Yep.
And we're going to do a video about simplicity
Yeah.
versus complexity.
Yes, we are. KISS principle.
Yes, at some point.
Yep.
Because it's in everything. But he's like, no, we're lazy. And we try to find the easiest way to accomplish something. Well, you can do the same thing. And, there's no.
Yep.
There's, you don't want to do it or make the sacrifice of you don't get a Starbucks that morning.
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be. Even for me, if I was hurting, guess what?
Yep.
Wine, gone.
Yep.
Until my Concord grapes start producing and I make my own. But seriously, dip,
Yep.
gone. And it would be cold turkey, and it would suck. But I would do it. Because that's what it required me to do. But,
Yep.
Anywho.
KungFuTaxidermy.com.
What can I say except you're welcome?
You're welcome.
I'm just your ordinary demigod.
The dog thinks so.
The dog.
The dog thinks so.
Demi-dog.
Demi-dog. I like that. That's a good one. KungFuTaxidermy.com.
There's nothing there right now, but you'll see that it is a purchased URL.
It's coming.
There's no content. We want to make sure we do it right. We want to make sure that we provide the least amount of headache that we can.
Yes.
So that the process is right, that you get your product. And probably what we're going to do is put an idea for a t-shirt on there, put it open for orders for a period of time, close it, and then execute on those orders.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I think I think we got some really good ideas for stuff that is just relevant prepper stuff. And most of what I see like guys talking about on the internet, and you can notice,
Mental
move
masturbation.
that over here. You're a little too far away. Most of it is, yeah, it's that, but it's passively earning money off you
Yeah.
to go see them do whatever they're doing and tell you wrong ways to do things. We just had it happen the other day. I misspoke in the garden.
Yep.
And guess what? I gladly said, you know what? You're
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Don't be sorry. You're right. I misspoke.
That's good. I think that was Mike Urban commented on that about black spots on the tomatoes. And that's cool because getting back to what you were saying before is you can't be awake all the time. You can't do everything all the time. Like, I'm not the de facto expert on everything. There's some things that I know really well, and there's some things that I don't know at all. And I don't ever want to be third-party advertising to y'all. I don't want to be like, buy this super ultra tactical repeater rubber band rifle, $29.95.
It is silent.
It's silent and deadly, and you can kill. It's accurate up to 3,000 meters. Like, we're not those people, right? We're just normal people, but we've had extraordinary life experiences that, in one way or another, have given us some expertise about this thing called preparedness.
And I would say our life experiences are so divergent that together is what makes them powerful.
I'm touched.
I mean, really, though.
I mean, like...
You know, I came from living on a farm, growing up farming.
Well, I grew up there, too.
Well,
yeah,
but straight in the military.
Yeah, not me.
Right? Bunch of years there, going into high-dollar consulting, having these upper-class friends who I fucking hated. And I hated being around. It just didn't feel right. To your background, and you talked about it in a video, like where you came from.
Yep.
It's two divergent places.
Yep.
That brings perspectives that you could never get from one person.
And the coolest thing about that is truth is not relevant to the source. Truth is independent of the source. Yep. So when you get 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 different people that are all saying the same thing or kind of the same thing or mostly the same thing, you know you're onto something. You know that from your background. Yeah. That when all of the chatter starts to line up, that you know you got 6 or 8 different sources all saying the same thing or kind of the same thing, you know you're onto something.
Well, I will say I do caveat that, because one of the things that I used to do before I retired was, you know, if everything was lining up to something, I would try to look at it from a lens of what would be the 90 or 180 degree out from it.
Yeah, that's true too.
And so I would play that lens on it as well. I actually had one of my young Marines one time. We were starting a new mission for one of the agencies, and I was like, you know, if I was X drug cartel,
right,
I would take however much cocaine and mix it with water and put it in squirt guns and give it to a bunch of Mexican kids all across the border, every POE, right? And at the exact same time, across the entire border, I'd have them spray every car and person walking across the border.
Yep.
Effectively shutting down everything, right? And it would get to the point where there was so many false positives, they would have to open up the border or it would affect our economy. Yep. And then I would send gigantic loads through, right? And I said this, I'm like, that's what I would do. And this Marine looks up to me and goes, "Sir, there's something wrong with you."
He was right.
Yeah. Well, there is, but I mean, but that's the way my brain works.
Yeah.
But that's also how we got the guys that we used to go after.
Yep.
Because you had to think differently. And we'll do a video on this too, but I think we need to talk about creative thought.
Absolutely.
Creative thought is a huge topic. I mean, that's how you take... it's not always about knowledge. It's about, let me make it up.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Yep.
All right. That's a good bow.
That is a good bow.
All right, brother. Good night, peeps.
Good night, all.